Okay, here is my review of the Wilson Combat Centurion Tactical. It's the Wilson Combat version of the Beretta 92 Golf. I'm shooting the Fiocchi 115 grain ammunition I got from Amazon, and I'm reviewing this weapon for reviewthepew.com. First thing I will say as I get into this, it does have, if you watch my CZ Shadow 2 review, it does have, just so you know it's clear, it does have a heavier trigger than the CZ. But if you remember, I mentioned in the CZ that there wasn't a clear wall. Sometimes you could just pull right through it. This does have a clear wall and a crisp, clean break. So even though it's a little bit heavier, I do like that a lot. What I will say is these magazines are the hardest magazines I've ever had to fill to capacity. A 20 round stick probably has got to be broken in because I can only get 12 rounds in it without going through some extreme discomfort. I'm sure those will break in with time and it'll get better. I do like the front sight on this Wilson Combat. It's just a tritium insert, but it has a bright orange ring around the outside, which does help make it very visible during daylight. And again, just like the CZ, this has a blacked out rear sight. And I'm actually getting kind of used to that. It's actually not too bad. I've not fired a single round with this yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. I have taken it apart, cleaned it, lubed it up with some cherry bombs, and we will see how it goes. So here are the very first shots. And we're going to be shooting this target right here in front of me at the top left side. I'll be putting my front sight post right on that black dot, and I'll be going back about 7 yards and we will see where we're at. And my guess for 7 yards was just about right, so here we go. Oh, magazine wasn't in all the way, that was my fault. I like the very audible and tactile reset that it has. There we go. First mag seems to be shooting a little bit off to the left from where I was aiming. I was aiming right there. Everything was hitting off to the left. That could be just a little bit of a sight picture issue. We'll try the second mag right here again, aiming at that black dot, and we will see what happens. I'll probably take just a couple steps closer so I can get a better, little better view of that black dot. If you will notice, again, it does not have a safety. This has a decocker on it. Because as opposed to the CZ where the slide ride's inside the frame, slides outside. So it does seem like I'm having a hard time getting my good thumb grip right here compared to the CZ, but I think this is a pretty standard size for most pistols, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Regarding the grips, I don't know, they're not as grippy as I would like. The CZ had some really nice checkering around them. These, if you're going left to right across it, they're pretty good, but if you're up and down, it actually doesn't do much for your grip. So again, we'll see. And like I said, this 20 round stick actually only has 12 rounds inside it. Still hitting a little bit to the left over here. Again, some of these flyers, those are my fault. Like I said before, I'm not the greatest shooter in the world. I'm not judging this pistol necessarily for accuracy, though I do think my shadow is a little bit more accurate in my hands straight out of the box. If you want, you can watch that review and be the judge of that yourself. But let me try hitting a little bit of steel and see if we can make these targets ring. Knowing that I was hitting a little bit to the left, I'm going to aim a little bit towards the right side of these steel plates. And again, we're back around 7 yards. There we go. Oh! There's those 12 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Wilson Combat Centurion Tactical. Here's a good example on this one. And also right here, where I was aiming right at the right edge, I hit right there, so I might need to drift the sights a little bit over for my own personal use. But I was continuously hitting the targets. I think I missed 1 or 2 out of that mag, and like I said, I don't claim to be the greatest shot in the world, so take it for what you will. All right. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this useful. Okay, here I am talking for a minute about the Wilson Combat. As I mentioned, it is clear. This has a decocker, not a safety, which I don't use safeties very much, so I like that. It does have a very tactile reset, which I really like. The trigger does seem a little bit heavy. That might be part of the reason why I'm pulling to the left a little bit, you saw in those shots. That just comes with more time and practice. I do like the beveled magwell and the magwell guide. It makes doing reloads very easy. And I do like the fact that it's got a spring-loaded magwell. Makes it really easy to get those magazines back out of there. The sights work very well, and you can see that the sights are drift adjustable should I choose to change that in the future. The only thing about this that I wasn't like, the fit and finish is very good. Wilson Combat made a very beautiful handgun. The only thing that's kind of questionable about it, and I've seen this on a lot of Berettas, so maybe it's just part of their manufacturing process, and I don't know how well you can see this, but it's got that little scuff right there by the extractor pin. I don't know if that's something they just can't get around with their design, but this came straight out of the box. I don't know if that'd be considered a blemish or not, but it is what it is. All in all, the pistol is very nice to look at. It shoots very well. It's more accurate than I am, I'm sure. And only time will tell. How I will say right now that the trigger and the grip certainly feel a whole lot better than the Glocks I was used to carrying, so take it for what you will. Now, when I talk about these magazines being difficult to load, the 17 rounders aren't so bad, but this 20 rounder right here, for example, has 12 in it right now. Here I am pushing that down, trying to get that in. Now it's at 13. And it feels like it's full. It's not, it's only at 13 out of 20, but it feels like a full magazine. So again, that's me. Hopefully as it gets broken in, the spring will loosen up a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, now we're gonna shoot at the bottom left corner. Again, about 7 yards. And I'm going to be aiming a little bit to the right and seeing how that does. As you can see, aiming a little more to the right, I did pull another one up here. I think the more I shot, I kind of drifted away, and I think I was aiming more over at this area. It is what it is. It does seem to be shooting, because I was aiming a little more to the right, so it does seem like it's shooting a little bit to the left. But again, that might just come with practice and time with the heavier trigger. Let's do another mag at this bottom right side. Pulled that one good too. Not even sure which one of those is my target dot anymore. I think it's... Well, at some point I hit the target dot dead on. I'm inclined to say it's this one right here, but there you have it. Not great shooting on my part. It's going to take a little practice getting used to. I do think that the CZ is more accurate straight out of the box for precision shots. Like I said, I may try drifting the sights a little bit if I don't get more proficient with it, and see how that happens. Other than that, let's fire these. I have 13 shots in this 20 round mag this time. there we have it. Again, it seems to be hitting consistently on the left. Again, I was aiming to that right side and hitting right there. Aiming that right side, hitting there and there. And you saw these ones on the chain jump. I don't know if you could see down here. This is what was getting hit and moving, but it is what it is. All in all, nice gun. Maybe not quite as accurate as the CZ, but this does have adjustable, sights adjustable for windage. So that might be something that I can tinker with and bring it to where it's dead on for me.